Hello, this is Yomot Gurum. Among compact cars, the Seltos is a vehicle that I have praised many times. Usually, when you think of compact cars, they look unimpressive, lack convenience features and have cramped interiors. But I've told you that the Seltos is the car that boldly changed those standards. I've covered everything about the Seltos, from test drives to detailed suspension analysis videos. Don't be surprised. It looks like in the second half of this year the Seltos will once again set a new standard with a full model change. Especially, I don't think many people have heard in detail about this technology, which will be applied for the first time in Korea. The Seltos is the vehicle that will once again set a new standard. Recently, with the new Palisade coming out as a hybrid vehicle, you've probably heard a lot about next generation hybrids, right? If traditional hybrid vehicles were chosen mainly for their fuel efficiency, the key point of next generation hybrid systems is that you can get not only fuel efficiency but also performance at the same time. After driving it for a long time, I noticed almost none of the awkwardness typical of hybrids. Especially in the electric vehicle mode, powered by the electric motor, the quietness inside the cabin was close to that of an electric vehicle. In this situation, I heard that there is a technology applied to the Seltos for the first time, right? Hyundai Motor Group recently gave an official hint at the next generation hybrid technology announcement event. Let's hear it directly.
Today, I will introduce the EVMC 2.0, an advanced technology soon entering mass production. First, the 2.0 technology can be used with vehicles that have front and rear drive motors, like hybrid E all-wheel drive or electric vehicles. Before I talk about the 2.0 technology, I would like to briefly explain the E all-wheel drive system. The E all-wheel drive is a structure where a P4 motor is added to the rear drive axle of a front-wheel drive-based hybrid vehicle. It's a setup with a P4 motor attached to the rear axle. With E all-wheel drive, you get stable traction and improved stability, acceleration, and efficiency by distributing power front and rear and maximizing regenerative braking.
First, there are conditions for vehicles that can use this technology. It's a technology that can only be applied to E all-wheel drive vehicles or electric vehicles. If you look at the structure, the current looks like this. You can see the P1 and P2 motors between the transmission and the engine. This means that vehicles equipped with E all-wheel drive technology will only use it in next generation hybrid systems, not in the conventional hybrid systems. That's because the conventional hybrid system used a combination of the P0 and P2 motors. Hyundai Motor Group officially announced that they will apply the next generation hybrid system to their new cars. Let's listen to this as well.
For compact cars, we plan to carefully consider market performance by region and vehicle class before deciding whether to develop them. Starting in 2025, we plan to gradually introduce next-generation hybrid systems to all major vehicle classes, from compact cars to Genesis. Future models will primarily use this new hybrid system.
If this happens, new cars released from 2025 will be equipped with hybrid systems. If these are applied from compact to large vehicles, we can expect that even compact SUVs like the Seltos will be the first in their class to feature the next generation hybrid system. So, is it only the next gen hybrid system being used? If so, I wouldn't have made this video. Additionally, it's known that a hybrid system combined with a rear P4 motor will be applied for the first time. If you know about this, it's truly innovative. Let me tell you why I'm saying this. So, what advantages does this new method have? First, E all-wheel drive. What does this mean? E stands for electric, A for all, U for wheel, and D for drive. It's an electronic all-wheel drive system, so it must differ from traditional methods, right? Typically, an internal combustion engine all-wheel drive vehicle has this structure. There's an engine in the front and the power generated by the engine is delivered to the rear wheels through a transfer case. The long rod is the propeller shaft, which delivers power to the rear wheels. In this traditional structure, additional parts are needed for all-wheel drive, which ultimately increases the cost. Also, adding more parts means the weight increases as well. All-wheel drive vehicles typically get lower fuel efficiency, which is why people say this. Because the propeller shaft passes underneath the second row passenger seats, the middle part sticks up, which lowers the comfort for second row passengers. So what advantages does this new E all-wheel drive have? Seltos is a compact SUV. Adding four-wheel drive to the current system requires a propeller shaft in an already small vehicle, creating more downsides than benefits for interior space, weight, fuel efficiency, and price. Price sensitivity is especially high in compact vehicles. Because of these issues, we can assume that's why four-wheel drive hasn't been released until now. So, there is a vehicle that first applied this kind of structure, and that's Toyota's E4 system. You need to take a closer look at this technology. Then let's try to predict what advantages the new Seltos might have. First, let's check the advantages of all-wheel drive. I've told you before that if it's a tall SUV, you need all-wheel drive. Except in snow or heavy rain, all-wheel drive generally keeps the vehicle stable, making it an important safety feature. It also lets you enjoy your car's performance. When a front-wheel drive car has more than 200 horsepower, it can be difficult to properly control that power depending on the situation. All the driving force is focused on two wheels, but distributing power to all four reduces issues like torque steer. You can fully utilize your car's performance. Also, four-wheel drive definitely has an advantage in terms of ride comfort. Controlling the driving force of each wheel can reduce rolling and pitching, which affect ride comfort. Up to this point, we've mentioned this several times on the channel, so I think you probably already know it. The front wheels feature a hybrid system combined with an electric motor. With the addition of the new P4 electric motor to the rear wheels, you only need to check the electrical signals, so there's no need to connect the power like with an internal combustion engine. If this happens, the first advantage is cost. The various parts that were needed to add four-wheel drive are greatly reduced, and you just need to install the electric motor. The second is fuel efficiency. Some people might wonder, does fuel efficiency improve even with four-wheel drive? In internal combustion engines, there is power loss in the process of sending power to the rear wheels. On average, there was about a 1 km per liter decrease in fuel efficiency. But does just changing the system really improve fuel efficiency? That's right. Regenerative braking is said to be crucial for boosting fuel efficiency in hybrid vehicles. Through the electric motor, the wasted energy is recovered, and if an electric motor is added to the rear wheels, energy that would have just been wasted in an internal combustion engine can now be recovered. That's what sets it apart. Unlike a four-wheel drive with an internal combustion engine, this is innovative. And third, there is no center tunnel in the middle of the second row. The bulge disappears since only the electric motor is installed, so the issue is resolved. Looking at it this way, manufacturers can reduce costs and the spatial disadvantages also disappear. That's definitely a welcome feature. And fourth, it becomes even quieter. With the device that transmits driving force gone, the noise that used to be caused by the driving force will be reduced. And fifth, this is really important, the vehicle's performance gets even better. What does this mean? You might wonder if it works like all-wheel drive. Does it perform like an internal combustion all-wheel drive vehicle? But that's not true. If you've driven an electric car, you know it accelerates quickly from the start, even with only 200 horsepower like a high-performance vehicle. The reason is that electric motors deliver maximum torque instantly at low speeds, so even with the same output, you can experience much more powerful performance. Adding a motor to the rear wheels means you can expect much faster and more exhilarating acceleration at low speeds. As fuel efficiency rises, carbon monoxide, CO2 emissions drop along with many other benefits. Especially, Hyundai's next-generation hybrid system additionally offers the V2L function. If you consider all these points, the E all-wheel drive system is not just an ordinary hybrid system that simply adds a motor to the rear wheels. However, the information I shared today is not official. Therefore, some parts may change, and not all these technologies may be used at first. But I think this is the right direction. The Seltos full change is expected to debut late this year, and I believe it will again set the standard for compact cars. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you. If this was helpful, please give it a like. Subscribe and turn on notifications to get accurate new car information quickly. Thank you.